Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled among lush green hills, there lived a young man named Siddhartha. Siddhartha was known for his gentle nature and his deep ponderings about life. However, despite the bustling activity of the village, Siddhartha often found himself feeling lonely. He longed for a sense of connection and belonging that seemed to elude him. One sunny morning, Siddhartha decided to seek guidance from the wise old sage who lived on the outskirts of the village. He had heard stories of the sage's profound wisdom and hoped that the sage could offer him some insight into his feelings of loneliness. As Siddhartha made his way through the winding paths that led to the sage's humble abode, he couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. When he finally arrived, he found the sage sitting cross-legged under the shade of a towering tree, his eyes closed in deep meditation. "Welcome, young one," the sage greeted Siddhartha with a serene smile. "What brings you to my humble dwelling?" Siddhartha bowed respectfully before the sage and replied, "Wise one, I seek your guidance. I feel a deep sense of loneliness in my heart, and I do not know how to overcome it." The sage opened his eyes and looked at Siddhartha with compassion. "Loneliness is a common affliction of the human heart," he said, "but it is not insurmountable. To overcome loneliness, one must first understand its root cause." Siddhartha listened intently as the sage spoke, his words carrying the weight of ancient wisdom. "The root cause of loneliness," the sage continued, "is the illusion of separation. We often feel lonely because we perceive ourselves as separate from the world around us. But in reality, we are all interconnected, like the branches of a vast tree." Siddhartha pondered the sage's words deeply. "But how can I overcome this illusion of separation?" he asked. The sage smiled knowingly. "Through mindfulness and compassion," he replied. "When we cultivate mindfulness, we become aware of the present moment and our interconnectedness with all beings. And when we cultivate compassion, we open our hearts to others and dissolve the barriers that separate us." Siddhartha nodded, understanding dawning in his eyes. "But how do I cultivate mindfulness and compassion?" he asked eagerly. The sage beckoned Siddhartha to sit beside him, and together they embarked on a journey of self-discovery. "Close your eyes," the sage instructed gently, "and take a deep breath. Feel the rhythm of your breath as it flows in and out of your body." Siddhartha followed the sage's guidance, his breathing slowing as he sank into a state of deep relaxation. With each breath, he felt a sense of calmness washing over him, dissolving the walls that separated him from the world around him. "Now," the sage said softly, "bring to mind someone you care about deeply. It could be a friend, a family member, or even a beloved pet. Hold them in your heart and wish them happiness and peace." As Siddhartha pictured the faces of his loved ones in his mind, he felt a warmth spreading through his chest. He could sense their presence, their love enveloping him like a warm embrace. "Finally," the sage said, "extend that same feeling of love and compassion to yourself. You are worthy of love and belonging, just as you are." Tears welled up in Siddhartha's eyes as he embraced himself with compassion and acceptance. In that moment, he realized that the key to overcoming loneliness lay not in seeking external validation, but in cultivating a deep sense of love and connection within himself. From that day on, Siddhartha practiced mindfulness and compassion diligently, each day bringing him closer to a sense of inner peace and contentment. And though he still faced moments of loneliness from time to time, he no longer allowed them to define him. For he knew that he was never truly alone as long as he carried the light of mindfulness and compassion in his heart. And so, dear reader, remember this tale of Siddhartha and the wise old sage, and know that you too have the power to overcome loneliness. Through mindfulness and compassion, you can dissolve the illusion of separation and find connection and belonging in the world around you.